Yeah.
which kind of brings me to this is, I know you guys a little bit, but what are the things that that you think separate you from other, from your competitors or other construction companies, stuff like that?
Sure. I think what separates us, I'd say the main thing is that if there is an issue, we walk into it most of the time, right? Like we don't run away from our problems. Like I feel like maybe other contractors do, or they deflect them maybe. I feel like especially me and Lon are pretty good at saying, okay, we did make a mistake here and we're willing to fix it. And mistakes happen constantly in this industry. So if someone is saying that their company doesn't make mistakes or they're perfect, it's obviously bullshit, But I think what we do is we do our best to fix any situation. We kind of go. I mean, Lon and I talk about this all the time. The power of saying you don't know when you don't know something. Like that's all that guy had to say was,
right.
You know what? I don't know. Let me look into it.
I assumed it was a mistake.
There's a lot of factors in projects or whatever it is. You can say I don't know. I'll look into it. So I think we're willing to do that more than not. I mean, there are times where I still don't do it, where I'm just like, okay, and I might be in a hurry or something. But for the most part, I feel like we are comfortable telling people what we don't know, and I think that builds trust.
Well, yeah, and really, if you're going to hire a contractor, at a minimum, you have an expectation of quality work. You're not going to hire this guy and say, yeah, he doesn't do that great of stuff, but I like him, so I'm going to use him anyway. Like at a minimum, you better do quality work. What really differentiates one company from another is the overall customer experience. And that starts with setting expectations from the very beginning, proper expectations so that they're not surprised, we're not surprised, following through as the project goes on, making sure that there's no questions. And then, yeah, like you said, I mean, addressing issues right away when they come up. It makes such a difference if I notice something on a job and I take the homeowner out and show them that and say, look, this isn't up to our expectations for the work that we do. I just wanted you to know that we've seen it. We're going to address it, versus me crossing my fingers that the customer won't notice it and we can get away from the job. That's a big difference in us pointing it out ahead of time versus waiting for them to come to us with an issue.
Another thing that you and I talk about a lot is how comparable it is to serving a table, right? Being a server. Like, I mean, because you've worked at a restaurant, I've worked at a restaurant, and it's, I would love to hire someone who has, 10 years experience as a server, because I know that they just have that mindset, right, of like constantly checking in, being aware of what your customer needs. And that to me is what kind of separates us, is that we're probably more aware. Like we're going to check in more. We see that they don't have water, or we anticipate what might be next, rather than just looking over at a table and going like, oh, they're done, drop the check. And I feel like that's a lot of contractors, right? It's just they walk up to the table, oh, you want chicken? Okay. And they drop the chicken when it's ready, and they don't come back until the customer's gone, or, almost done, and they drop the check. But you need to give them a certain amount of attention and just make sure that they are okay. That they understand what's happening. It's their house. They might be spending $50,000, $100,000. A simple call just to check in. Hey, is everything all right? I mean, that goes a long way.